Here's Brody Brazil.
All right, so we are ramping up into hockey season. It literally begins right around the corner. And I was thinking the other day, what are some things I'll be watching for with the San Jose Sharks? Not just the entire season, but especially early on, like right out of the gate. What are some trends and stats that I'll be paying attention to? So I've come up with 5 stats to watch for the San Jose Sharks this upcoming season. They're not in any particular order, but number 1 was one of the important and interesting trends of last season. Mario Ferraro started blocking a ton of shots. Do you remember in the 63 games he played last year, he blocked 151 shots. You do the math, that's an average of 2.4 blocks per game. Now, minus Brent Burns, his other top pair D-man, things might change, or maybe they don't. I think Mario's going to play a ton of minutes. Yeah, definitely top pair minutes. And I think just the nature of shots he blocks, obviously they help the team from a defensive standpoint. No question about that. If the puck doesn't get to the net, there's no chance that it gets in the net. But I also think that these two things are correlated. How many shots Mario blocks and how well the Sharks are playing team defense. For some reason, Mario's blocked shots are almost a gauge of team defense. Now, it's not an entire connection. I'm not promising you one thing with the other, but I'm just saying that if Mario can do this again, there was a big reason why that San Jose tightened things up defensively last year. They were able to hang in games because of their defense. They just weren't able to win games. They didn't score enough. But block shots, Mario was, I think I want to say top 15 or 16 in the league. And the only reason that he didn't have more is that he just did not play the full 82-game season. Had that really bad ankle injury at the end of the year. So what can he do in 82 games this year? Probably flirt with 200 block shots. No question about that. Okay, next thing I'll be looking at stat-wise for the San Jose Sharks, Noah Gregor's shot percentage. If you watched last year, you know how many chances he had. You also respectfully know that some of them could have gone in, and I know Noah feels this way too. Noah Gregor's shot percentage. How many goals does he score compared to the amount of shots that he tallied? 63 games last year, 8 goals. He gets 2.4 shots per game, 156 total shots on net last year. So creating is great, opportunities are great. He just scored on the breakaway in one of the preseason games against Anaheim. But you do the math on him, and last year it was a 5.1 shot percentage, right? That's how many percentage of the shots actually were goals. You just look across the board at San Jose's leading goal scorers last year between Timo, Hertl, and Logan. All of those 3 players were 10% or greater. So basically double where Gregor was at. Now, I'm not bringing this up as a knock or an insult or a like get better situation. I'm hoping for better for Noah Gregor. I'm hoping that he buries some of these opportunities that he got so many of, and he worked hard to get them. I think that's the valuable part right there. Can he earn as many shooting opportunities as he did last year, but then can he bury them? Because if he does, and if he plays a full 82 games this year, if he's up the entire time and healthy, 15 to 20 goals is not out of the question for Noah Gregor. And that would greatly help a team which had an issue scoring last season. So Noah Gregor's shot percentage, definitely something I'll be keeping an eye on. Okay, how about the Sharks' power play and penalty kill success rates? It's an interesting mix of where they stood last year. They had the second best penalty kill in the entire NHL. Yeah, and they took their fair share of penalties too. It wasn't like they weren't disciplined and they didn't have to kill off a lot of penalties. They had enough time in the box and they did the right thing with it. 85.2% kill rate last year when facing power plays. But on the flip side, when they were on the power play, they only converted 19% of the time. Drew Amenda will tell you that old math about 100%. Can you get your penalty kill and your power play to equal up to 100%? Well, 85.2 plus 19. Yeah, that easily gets you over 100%. But the problem is it's so uneven. It's so not balanced, that the penalty kill was great. The penalty kill saved him in games. It kept him in games. I mean, that's my last point here. The penalty kill, no matter how you look at it, it has to be just as good as it was last year or similar. Otherwise, the Sharks won't be in a lot of games that they were last year for this upcoming season. But if the balance could get a little bit better, and I'm not here to say, well, keep your PK above 80%. But if the penalty kill could be up above 80%, and the power play could improve 5 percentage points to get up to 24%, that's a lot more goals. That's a handful of more wins. You don't have to go to overtime like they did 13 times last year and lost the game. So long story short here, it's the slim margins, and the power play could help San Jose. As much as the penalty kill was huge last year, can you balance out your special teams just a little bit? Okay, stat number 4 I'll be looking at, James Reimer's save percentage. Now, why not Kaapo Kähkönen? Get to that in just a second. Last year, Reimer had a .911 save percentage in 48 games. He and Adin Hill, and then eventually Kähkönen, none of them were all healthy at the same time. It was literally a game of musical chairs. And Zach Sawchenko had a couple starts too. Game of goalie musical chairs for San Jose. But I do believe going into this season, and with the consistency and the track record of Reimer, we already know and understand he's probably going to get the earliest and most looks early on, right? The most starting opportunities. The team wants Kähkönen to be good too, and I hope he can earn that role. I hope that I hope for a rivalry. That's my last point right there. I hope both of these guys push each other. That would be super valuable for this hockey team. And yeah, down the stretch, if you're playing well and you're contending and one goalie is helping you emerge, then you obviously play the hot hand. But until that's established, I mean, I think James Reimer did so much last year, and he's a known commodity that probably going to get, in my guess, in my estimation, one way or another, he'll earn a lot of looks. But also his save percentage, I think, is a good gauge of team defense. In the same way I said, if Mario is still blocking that volume of shots, if Reimer's save percentage is obviously in the 900s, but 911 where he was at, maybe even higher than that, it goes to tell you that the Sharks have tightened things up and they've kept it that way defensively. Last year versus the prior 2 or 3 seasons, they cut way down on the amount of opponent odd man chances, did the Sharks, and also net front like second and third chances. That was something that would just eat the Sharks up game after game. And I'm not here to go back and knock Martin Jones all over again, but how many odd man rushes did he face and not do so well with? And how many times was it a second, third, and fourth chance that got buried right out front that he wasn't able to stop? And I just saying that, team defense is obviously going to help out all of James Reimer's stats, but especially the save percentage. And so as long as that save percentage is good, it is a gauge of other good things happening for the team. All right, last thing I'll be looking at here is the team's win versus loss streaks. Last year was streaky in a very bad way. The Sharks actually, out of the gate, they won their first 4 games in a row. But that was their longest win streak of the season. Do you remember that? 4 in a row. They went on the road trip. Everything was dandy. And then they never won 4 in a row after that. But they did lose 7 in a row. And then not long after that, they, at the end of the season, lost 10 in a row, which was one of their longest ruts since, I want to say, the Cow Palace days. Was either the 91 or 92 campaign. This Sharks team of the upcoming season, they need some sustained runs of success. They need a 4 and a 5 game win streak, not just once, but twice. Need to do it in a couple different months. They really need to taste what it feels like to go on one of those rolls. They didn't do it last year. And I'd have to go back the last couple seasons. It's been a while. So getting that, and also at the same time minimizing damage. You're going to lose games. You're going to lose 2 in a row. You're going to lose 3 in a row. You're going to lose 4 in a row. But when it gets to 5, 6, and 7, and ultimately 10, That's when you cost yourself an entire season. That's when your group gets tested. You don't want to go through that if you don't have to. So if the Sharks of this year, and I'm telling you, if they can't win 5 or 6 or 7 in a row, that's fine. But can you avoid losing that many in a row? If you can keep it relatively even keel, you're going to end up a lot better than you did last year. So there you go. Those are my 5 stats to watch with the San Jose Sharks. Let me know what you think. Was I close? Was I far off? Is there an obvious one that I missed? Let me know what you think about that in the comments section below.